What a long and strange night of boxing, at least in my opinion. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Just to let you guys know, I'm a little tired, and I just wanted to do this video before I went to sleep, so don't mind me. Anyway, before I get into the main event, I just want to say when it comes to the heavyweights, boy, oh boy, this is just a sad, sad time for the American heavyweights. I mean, them guys, Mitchell and Banks, just looked terrible. It was just what a year ago that Mitchell was supposed to be considered the one of America's best hopes, and that is not the case. Okay, he wouldn't have a chance in hell fighting any of the Klitschko's. You know, and we already know Banks. He trains the Klitschko, so that ain't gonna never happen. And Banks ain't that good either. He just happened to land, a good counter punch in the first fight, but he fights too tentative, and he's not the savior of boxing, to say the least. Right. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and get into this Broner versus Malinaggi fight. My goodness. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Malinaggi, I would say he put on a great performance. When expectations are set, low already, and you surpass those expectations, you got to say he did a great job, right? He did a really good job. Throwing a lot of combinations, looking very live, and catching Broner with punches every now and then. I was surprised. I was really surprised how good he looked in the first 6 rounds. Now, when it comes to Adrian Broner, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I was not impressed with his performance tonight. Okay? He showed some flaws that he really needs to work on. And from what I've seen, it seems to me like Adrian Broner, he has a problem with fighters that have foot movement and hand speed. That's what it showed. Adrian Broner looked extremely flat-footed. What I didn't understand is when he was following, it was a lot of things that Adrian Broner was doing that kind of surprised me, that I thought he knew better. And I don't think me or anyone else could ever say he's Floyd Mayweather. Because once again, the flaws that I've seen from Adrian Broner, it once again made me realize how great of a fighter Floyd Mayweather is. Because once again, like I always say, Floyd Mayweather, he can adjust to any style. I've seen Floyd Mayweather fight fighters like Paulie Malignaggi, where they move around the ring, they throw flurries. You don't believe me? Go back and watch Charmaine Mitchell. Go back and watch, I think it was Carlos Molina, the Argentinian guy. That guy just ran the whole night. He just ran. And Floyd Mayweather won every single round. So Floyd Mayweather is a master at using his brain and knowing how to adjust. Adrian Broner, he showed he has a problem with adjusting with fighters that move around the ring. This goes back to the Daniel Ponce de Leon fight, right? He had a problem. And I think the reason why Broner has these problems is because Broner is a counterpuncher, right? So Broner would prefer you come in, stick your head in the meat grinder, and he's going to knock you out. But if you make Broner chase you, because Broner is already a counterpuncher, Broner's not going to chase you and leave himself wide open. So instead, what he does is he becomes a little too reluctant to chase you around and throw punches first, right? What Adrian Broner was doing when he was chasing around Paulie Malignaggi is he would chase him around, and then like at least 70% of the time, at least especially it was really noticed. It was really noticed the most in the first 6 rounds. Broner would chase Paulie around, and then soon as Broner would get Paulie trapped somewhere, he would allow Paulie to throw the combinations first, right? And I noticed, I'm sitting there watching the fight, and I'm saying, why isn't Broner getting off first? He's the power puncher. Paulie has to worry more about Broner's punches than vice versa, right? So like I said, Broner follows him around, and then soon as he stops, he gets into his blocking guard, and Paulie throws 50 punches, right? And then Broner comes back with one punch. Then Broner, he would just go in long spurts, following, and not throwing any punches. And Paulie Malinaggi, he's stacking up points, throwing flashy combinations. They may not be powerful, but they're points that are landing and looking impressive, right? And it was just amazing to me how long Broner was going without letting his hands go. It's like, okay, you say the first 2 rounds, you start to say, okay, Broner, he's just, he reading them right now, and once the blueprint comes out, he's going to, destroy Malinaggi. But it seemed like his printer must have been real slow because that blueprint took forever to come out. All right? I mean, Broner damn near went 5-6 rounds without really turning it up. Okay? Now, another thing that I noticed is when Broner was following Malinaggi around and he was allowing Paulie to land all these punches on his arms and occasionally catch him with something up top, what I don't realize is how come Broner just didn't do a jump back? That same jump back that Marquez does, the same jump back you may see a Floyd Mayweather do. I mean, it's the same thing that any really, really, impressive, spectacular type boxer would use. It's that type of move, right? I didn't understand why did he allow Malinaggi to land all these punches, even if it was just on his arms. All Broner had to do was take a step back. That would have put Paulie out of position. That would have had Paulie reaching for him. He would have been able to counter more easier. Okay? But no. Broner didn't do that. I'm going to tell you something right now, man. This is a fight that Broner, he could have won very impressively. He could have won this fight easy. He could have knocked out Paulie and won almost every single round. But like I said, he had a little bit of reluctance when he was coming in, and that caused him to fight sporadically. And furthermore, it caused him not to fight the best fight. It did look like Broner was trying way too hard to knock Paulie out, and he wasn't, it got to the point where he wasn't really setting anything up. He really just desperately wanted a knockout. I think that also has something to do with, why he looked the way he did, right? So, yeah, man, my thing is, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if a person is going to beat Paulie, it's going to be a person who moves around the ring like crazy. And they know how to, every now and then, catch Broner as he's coming in. All right? That's the blueprint to beat Adrian Broner. I can tell you right now, it ain't going to be Lucas Matthysse to beat him. Lucas Matthysse would probably get knocked out. Okay? I don't see Danny Garcia beating him. And understand something, guys. When I say I don't see these guys beating him, they can always have a chance of knocking Broner out. But when I say beating him, I mean looking better than him in the ring, winning rounds, dominating the fight, right? Because outside of Matthysse or Garcia landing a lucky hard shot, I don't see them beating Broner. They're tailor-made. They're tailor-made for Broner's style. They don't have the style that's going to give him problems. They're going to do exactly what Broner wants them to do. Okay? But, yeah, I can't even really think of any fighters that really fight with a lot of movement. Now looking at this, I think, I don't know if Miguel would have beat him, but Miguel Vasquez would have definitely gave Broner a lot of problems. Because Vasquez, he does some serious moving in the ring. All right? He does some serious moving. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's basically how I see this fight. Now, one thing I thought was pretty interesting is at the end of the fight, Broner, he said, I hear people talking about I'm picking opponents I tell you what, y'all tell me who y'all want me to fight, I'll fight them next. I thought that was really impressive for him to say that. You know, you wanna you wanna call out somebody for ducking when they respond that way. I mean, it ain't really too much you could say. You know, haters gonna always hate, but speaking of hating, I don't like to touch too much on people's personality outside the ring, but I will say that I was really surprised, man, the way Broner was acting after the fight, because the fight is already over. That's supposed to humble a person, but Broner went off on Malinaggi while Malinaggi was trying to, embrace Broner at the end of the fight. I've always told people, I could tell throughout the whole build up to this fight, Paulie Malinaggi, he was just doing this just to sell the fight. I mean, Broner's talk was a little bit more personal. It was a little bit more, deeper, right? And it showed at the end of the fight because Broner, he was still talking shit after he already won, which I thought was highly disrespectful. Okay? I mean, clearly Broner, he loves the villain role. I mean, this dude, he gets off on pissing people off and smiling in their face with gold teeth. Okay? Something that what's his name? Jack Johnson was known for doing. Right? See, the thing is, I feel even when it comes to an elite fighter, you may expect them to win a real close decision every once in a while because it was really competitive. The guy was tougher than he expected, et cetera, right? But in this fight right here, this was a fight that Broner should have won easy. And I'm not saying he should have won the fight easy because it was Paulie Malignaggi. I'm saying he should have won it easy because when Broner was letting his hands go, he separated himself from Paulie like right away. I mean, you could just see the gap in skill level when Broner let his hands go. And I also noticed that every time Broner caught Paulie with a flush shot, Paulie seemed to have this look of concern on his face. Even in the first round, it took Broner about a minute and a half to throw one punch. The very first two punches that Broner threw was a jab, and it jolted Paulie's head back about 6 inches, right? Maybe longer than that, actually. But the point is, as soon as he landed these jabs, you just seen a different face expression on Paulie Malignaggi because the first minute and a half, Paulie was looking real good. But when he got hit with them 2 jabs, all of a sudden, he started backing up more. He didn't look confident anymore. But, the thing is, I think when Broner was chasing Malignaggi around, I think the foot movement of Paulie Malignaggi, the hand speed, it kept Broner a little bit more reluctant than he wanted to be. It kept knocking him off of his rhythm, right? And that's the reason why we seen that type of performance, which excuse me, which proves to me that Broner, he is not a complete fighter yet. Now the good news for Broner is he's still going to be very difficult to beat because for one thing, there's not too many fighters in this possible near future that fight with a lot of foot movement and a lot of hand speed. So as far as he's fighting opponents that's standing right in front of him like a Lucas Matisse, Danny Garcia, he won't have a problem. And I'll tell you one person who might give him a problem is someone like a Tim Bradley. Somebody like that would probably give Adrian Broner problems if Broner stayed at welterweight. Because if, people talk about Bradley's wild and all this stuff, but if Bradley starts boxing you, he's pretty damn impressive. Like I said, ask Pacquiao in the last 3 rounds. Ask Lamar Peterson. But anyway, the bottom line is I would give Adrian Broner like a C in this fight. And I got to go ahead and cut this video because I'm about to get my Z's on. So that's it, guys. I'll catch up with you. I'm on to the next one.